Welcome to episode 84, the Brew Crew Scoop. It was almost going to be a really sad episode after a six-game losing streak erased the hot start, put them back at 500, but luckily they salvaged the week with a couple wins here to end the week. So it was only 2 and 4 week. The way we split these weeks for the podcast, we ended up having a good episode and an okay episode rather than one really bad one in the middle there because it was looking grim for a while there. The biggest bad news of that stretch probably is that Christian Yelich is likely going to be out for over a month. So we're playing really hurt between Yelich, Churio, Priester, you name it. So it's nice to see him at 10-8 despite all the hardships to begin the year, but it was a bad week for a minute there.
Yeah, just it was tough to watch, especially since, I thought they were going to come home. I said this on the last episode. I thought they were going to come home, get right against the Nationals, and it looked good at the start, and then it just started to unravel. Pitching, hitting, everything was sputtering at the right time. And I mean, Murphy even said it over the last, 3, 4, 5 years. It's been rare to have a stretch where you lose 6 games. And then I think he even said this is our first one in 4 years or something. So uncharted territory for him as a manager, but came back and won 2 games in a row to take the series from a decently also injured Blue Jays team. But you beat Dylan Cease and then you beat the corpse of Patrick Corbin. So two decent wins in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, uh, it's baseball. You play 162 games, you're going to have those ebbs and flows. So, um, I'm hope we can stay afloat. I already see some of the good old Brewers Twitter getting real negative about how tough this next month's going to be and how they don't know if we can sustain blah blah blah. And that's possible. That's obviously always possible, but in the past, we seem to find a way. I mean, today we won a game with, was it 3 bunts in a row? So I think this team's going to find a way to keep winning enough games, keep us afloat, let guys get healthy, let guys get hot in AAA, whether it's a Jet Williams or a Cooper Pratt. And I think we'll come out better on the other side. And I don't know. What was it last year? People were saying we were hot too early. Maybe we'll be nice and cool and slowly heat up throughout the year, so we're just hot enough to take down the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
The schedule's kind of a fake thing though. Like, I don't know. I love to see the
No,
end of
the
the year.
schedule is real.
Yeah, but like the whole like, oh, you got a tough stretch or a easy stretch coming up. I feel like it never plays out that way. You never just beat up on the bad teams and then just
Well, the Brewers certainly do not.
yeah, right. So it's like I get what they're saying, but whatever. You can play any pitcher on any given day. It's baseball.
Well,
It's
that's
not
that's one
football.
thing too is the Kyle Harrison thing. It seems like he's gonna be all right, but like you just mentioned pitching, like our pitching's still there. Obviously, we have probably something to talk about in the back end of the bullpen, but I mean, any starter you give the ball to, even if it's a guy we're gonna call up from AAA right now, like you're still confident in a guy. We're not relying on the corpse of Patrick Corbin, who actually was okay last year, I guess, but he's not been the few
Yeah.
years before that. But yeah, and I mean, if you have enough arms that you believe in, that's half the battle of every baseball game, right? And then a little small ball, and we'll be more than good keeping ourselves afloat, I think. So not too worried.
Yeah, no, I agree, especially with Sproat bouncing back the way he did from his. I know this was technically his second start, but his first 2 games weren't great. I mean, I didn't get to watch a ton of today's game as it was a day game and we, have jobs, but from what I saw in the from a box office watcher or box score watcher myself today, 6 innings, 6 Ks. I think what was it, one earned run, one
Yep.
walk, and then a
Yep.
couple hits. Like that's
On
a
75 pitches too. He was
yeah. I did.
efficient. Like it
Of
once we get
course,
to that point in the year, maybe where we don't need Ashby to throw every game, maybe we let him eat one more inning too, or maybe if the
Need to
game's
get
not
his
so
work
close, right?
in.
I think if the game wasn't so close, he might have been back out there. But yeah, sorry, Keen.
no, that's a good point. The same thing with Chad Patrick last night. I mean, I think literally almost the same amount of pitches and the same exact line. I mean, maybe some less Ks, but both went 6 and 2/3. Like those, I believe, were the 2 season high
They were.
for longevity from a Brewers starter this year, which came at quite possibly could have been the perfect time with how struggling the pen or how much they have struggled the last week or so. Um, but Sproat had a great day. Kyle Harrison's obviously the wrist thing. I saw they're pushing him back, and Cole's boy Coleman Crow had his start scratched in AAA, so that's something to watch. But I totally agree with Cole. The confidence you have in pretty much anybody that takes them on for the Brewers. pretty much will keep you in a game. Back-to-back games winning 2-1, back-to-back games with 50-mile-per-hour exit velocity hits or bunts giving you the lead. That's Brewers baseball right there.
Joey O.
Yeah, Joey O.
I think the Brewers took a page out of maybe not a page out of the Nationals book, but after seeing Trevor McGill try to field those bunts on Friday, I thought, you know what? Maybe we should just do that when we need a run, just bunt, 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 and I like it. But that takes us right into the weekly recaps. Obviously, coming off a loss against the Red Sox, the Nationals came to town against uh, our Wisco Brewers. The City Connects debuted, um, and it was Bowers homered, and it was a close one. Ashby opened, and it was a close one until late in the ninth when Miguel just couldn't field the ball, couldn't throw a strike. It almost felt like in his second outing this week, I guess I'll wrap it all together. It almost felt like he was tipping pitches maybe because his curveballs weren't even in terrible spots and they were still hitting them. So I don't know, but spoiler, he had a good outing at the end of this week. But that's how the week started, pretty rough. And then Nationals on Saturday won 3-1. Looking at the Brewers box score, Kyle Harrison made an okay start. Early in that game, Gary Sanchez threw a ball off his knee, threw a ball off of Harrison's knee on a attempted 3-1 put out. And I guess the main issue with Harrison was the wrist, landed kind of funny on his pitching wrist, but sounds like he should be fine, just getting pushed back a couple days. But yeah, the offense didn't do too much in that game. Contreras with the solo homer was the only run scored there in the bottom of the ninth. And then Sunday, Nationals finished the sweep. It was 8-6. Nationals' first sweep of the Brewers since 2011. Um,
And
Terang,
what happened in 2011?
yeah, yeah, that's right. Terang homered, Bowers homered, Sanchez homered. Man, Gary Sanchez has been awesome. As a backup catcher now, like an everyday guy with our injuries. So good to see. But nonetheless, it was an 8-6 loss. Woody put in 6 good innings, 6 strikeouts, 1 earned run there. But Uribe struggled, Zerpa struggled. And yeah, that was the start of my. I don't get concerned about this team in recent years too much, but the bullpen a little bit was starting to concern me, and we'll talk about that more, I'm sure, as we already did. Um, then day off, then Tuesday. Game went to extras, but the Blue Jays pulled it out 9-7. The Brewers, it was funny. I was about to head up to bed just to watch like the last inning, and then all of a sudden it was like Blue Jays scored 3 runs, Brewers scored 2 runs, Blue Jays scored 3 runs, Brewers scored 1 run. So it was like 8 runs there in the last 2 innings, but it was exciting. Brandon Lockridge was a little bit of heroics there. Um, Another spoiler, he had a good catch in the next game. That was cool to see. Not a guy who I'd love to see playing every day for us down the stretch, but he's had a couple good moments. But Brewers box score, Mizorowski went 5 1/3 with 5 Ks. But yeah, at the back end again, Uribe, McGill, Grant Anderson, kind of struggling. So and then Wednesday, they were down 1-0 for the longest time. As we mentioned, Chad put in a really good outing. Um, wasn't throwing a ton of strikes seemingly, but he was getting the job done anyways. Luckily, the Brewers broke through there with the RBI single in the bottom of the eighth. Shoot. Contreras hit that one, and then Terang hit a ground out to put him up 2-1 in the bottom of the eighth, and Abner locked it up. And then today, 2-1 as well. um, Toronto scored early, but Rengifo hit a sac fly in the fourth, and then Ortiz sac bunt, little safety squeeze to go up 2-1. And um, McGill had a good outing, but Serpa slammed the door shut. So all in all, 2-4 week. It's a 10-8 record. Looking at the NL Central standings, it's still all bunched up. Pirates and Reds 11-8. Cardinals and Brewers 10-8, and then the Cubs are 9-9.
Sounds like a good momentum turner for the week ahead. I really like where we're going. I think the pitching and everything, and I know we talked about the bullpen woes, but it was big for McGill to go through a scoreless 8 today, face some good hitters, get fired up. Him and Vladdy were John, so I think we're headed in the right direction. And I agree with you. it sucks to have, Rengifo, and your 5 through 9 today was not, that looked like a 2020 lineup, in my opinion, from from the way of just not having, high caliber starting major league players. But that's going to happen. And if you can win on games where half of your lineup is not starting caliber players, I think that's the sign of a good ball club, a very good depth ball club. So when you do get those guys back, it'll only make you so much better.
Yeah, McGill got the big first whiff on the fastball today, so he's back.
Greg Jones had a hit today in his Brewers debut, second major league hit for him.
I was texting a buddy about him and he asked who he was, and I remember him actually from spring training just because he's one of those guys that you figure you might see. And and then I think when he looked him up, he's like, God stole a rib from Andrew Monasterio and created Greg Jones with the
Yeah,
glasses and stuff. I was like, that's
yeah,
pretty funny.
yeah. Didn't think of that till now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he got picked off. Murphy, I actually saw was chewing him out then in the dugout. He got picked off first pitch on base
Yeah,
on a
that's something you
lefty.
don't want to do as a 27, 28-year-old
No.
career
Well,
AAA
especially
player.
on a lefty running first pitch.
Yeah.
Because in that situation, that's a steal situation. I don't know. I don't he must have went on his own. I personally wouldn't have stole first pitch. But yeah, and then kind of a questionable slide into Andres Jimenez. We might be split on our opinion in this group, but if I'm going to call it Wilson Contreras, I'll call it Greg Jones. I didn't like how far off the bag he slid, to be honest. I think the rule now is more you have to stay through the base as much as not reaching the bag like it used to be.
I
Maybe
think the
that's
rule is just don't get called for it.
true. Guess it doesn't really matter when it's not a double play. I didn't think of that. So upcoming schedule for the Brewers, they're heading to Miami, and then Detroit before they come back home.
Detroit.
All right, Cole, who was your hot hitter of the week?
Stop dropping on fire, Ricky Bobby. I'm on fire. He's so hot right now.
Before I did my numbers before today, so I'm gonna shout out Jake Bowers. 5 for 16 on the week, 3 walks, 3 homers, 3 runs, 7 RBI. And I think there's an obvious, probably other person you could mention, but and then just watching today's game kind of in the background or listening to it while I was working. And you already shouted out Gary Sanchez, but dude, he's doing it all. And like I know you said he's here to do two things and he's only doing one of them, but he is actually doing both of them because he
Yeah, he
also
is.
can, the challenges were on point today as well. So he's been a huge, huge get for what we spent to get Gary Sanchez.
Yeah, that I was gonna not say either of those guys, so I'm going a bit old school here, just because I saw it on the pregame and I didn't even know that people cared or mentioned these things anymore. William Contreras now has an 11 game hit streak going on, and it's not like he's getting cheapies either. Every single game in this series, he had 2 hits. He was 6 for what is that, 13? So, I mean, that's pretty damn good. That's damn near 500 average throughout the whole series. Even in the Washington series, he had the homer. He didn't have the multi-hit games. But this goes all the way back to April 1st against Tampa Bay. So, pretty cool. I'm more of a just full stats guy too. He's batting 317, which, I mean, besides Yelich, when's the last time we had somebody bat over 300? That was a qualified hitter. That's good for 19th in the league. He's also walking a ton. He's got 10 walks already. That's good for an 887 OPS. So, I mean, it's nice for him to start out good. Everything's feeling good. The hand is better. I believe the swing speed is there. So, I mean, I'm excited for the type of full season that he can have if he stays healthy.
Thought you didn't have time for research, Coach Kean.
I
You're
was
coming with the
researching
hard
that
hitting numbers.
as we're doing this right now. I was researching. So, yeah. The untouchable pitcher of the week might be a little worse.
Seems. Well, you know what? I was gonna go to you first because I got into Cole first before. Maybe I'll go to Cole first again. But
Yeah,
seems
let
like
me
that
let me
that
get there.
finger was the issue last year with Contreras because that seems to kind of be the outlier year for him in Milwaukee. So not that it
Looks
was a
like
bad,
we should have signed him after the bad finger year then, because
yeah,
after if he keeps producing here, he's pricing
that's right.
himself right out of this city.
I don't like paying catchers. That's the one position where I feel like that and I guess relievers. But
I don't
Like
know. I agree. I
Evo
totally agree with
Williams.
you there. Like, I feel like we can take what other teams can't with a good offensive catcher and make them a good defensive catcher. So, I mean, Omar Narvaez, Manny Pena wasn't, the
Gary
greatest offensive hitter.
Sanchez.
Gary Sanchez right then and there. I mean, catching for me, obviously, it's nice to have a premier one, but I don't want to pay somebody who's
Yeah.
catching in their mid 30s,
I just
20,
like William a
30 million
lot, like as
dollars.
a leader and a player
Yeah.
too, though. He's kind of fun. He's got some fire in him. Not quite as much as his brother, but some
Yeah.
fire.
It comes
Yeah.
with age, it appears.
He'd
Yeah.
be an old, angry man.
Those two catchers with the challenges. I mean, they're raving about it in the broadcast. They're just about uh perfect. Cole, I see you flashing that bling, that ring, looking good.
Yeah. What
Congrats,
do the
Cole.
Brewers and I not have in common, huh? I got a ring.
They didn't win this weekend,
That's true
but
too.
you
That's
did.
true too.
All
Finally
right,
got to hang out
Cole.
with Scoop Jr.
Yeah, that's right. Who is your untouchable pitcher of the week?
You fellas are untouchable. Is that the thing? No one can get to you?
Well, I'll let you
Um,
go first on this one, too.
nah, Coach Keen, you go first. I'll clean up your mess, whatever you leave behind.
That's fine. So this one, I got a little less time of research, but I was there to witness this game yesterday. So I'm going to go with my boy, Chad Patrick.
You pitched twice, I
Obviously,
think, since we last talked too, right?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yes.
9 2/3.
So he obviously didn't start the last game against Washington, but he was also not the reason that we lost either. He threw 3 innings, no runs, no strikeouts. The last couple of games, he's never going to be a huge strikeout guy, but and then yesterday, obviously, he had 6 2/3, one earned run, I think about 73, 75 pitches, same as Sprout today, and only 2 Ks. I was listening in on the radio on the way home from the game in the monsoon yesterday, and Dom Catronio was telling us that he switched the grip of his cutter just to try and get a little bit more swing and miss, and it appeared to work. Maybe not in the strikeout category, but he was. I remember able to get Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to swing at it twice in a row and miss. So the swing and miss is there. Just maybe not the put away pitch when guys grind down and try and put the ball in play. So 9 2/3, one run, 2 Ks over the 2 appearances that he made this week. He's 1-0. He's got a .95 ERA, only 9 Ks, whatever. But as long as he's putting the ball on the ground, letting the defense work for him, I believe. I don't remember the exact number, but Dom Catronio also said that he had the most ground ball outs in any one of his appearances as a Brewer. So that is good as well. He's putting the ball on the ground instead of in the air. Obviously, we don't want that. So over his, I think, 4 appearances, he's got 19 innings pitched. I believe that equates to 2 runs. I can do the quick math. Yep, 2 runs over 19 innings equates to a .95 ERA, which is good for 30th in the league. So he's off to a hot start. He's my untouchable pitcher of the week.
I don't know. I'd say Chad was a pretty good strikeout pitcher against Parkside.
Yeah, 10 years ago.
Cole, clean
I'm
it up.
going to. I had Woo written down, but that was before today. I'm giving it to Mr. Sprout. We already shouted out his line, but he's a guy that a lot of like the stat nerds and Brewers, whatever, Twitter are a big fan of. He's got a lot of eye-popping numbers and metrics on some of his stuff, and he's had a rough couple goes of it, but I think he's starting to look a little more comfortable. Like personally, at least watching him, he's looked a little almost on edge and like too nervy for a guy that's out there throwing whatever, up to 100 pitches an outing. Like he's got to get comfortable a little bit. Kind of like how Miz, I feel like seems like he's walking on eggshells for his first couple starts. Still kind of now. Miz is a special guy, so I won't compare him to Miz. But look good today, 6 Ks, like we said, only 75 pitches, only one walk. Um, and a guy that a lot of people are saying could be the best piece out of that Freddie trade. Obviously, Jet Williams still could be, but I don't think enough people talked about how good Sprout seems to have the potential to be. And if our front office liked him enough to trade Freddie Peralta for him, I think he's going to be good too.
One thing to add on the Sprout goat, can we get him some tighter pants? I don't think they're tight enough. I think we could go just a bit tighter.
I thought you might say that.
There's more cheek to be cushed. I want to see it pumped up a little bit.
I
What
have
color
more of a
pants do you want to see,
baseball.
Scoop? If like you had a choice.
I would probably do powder blue, but I have more of a baseball take about him.
No, thanks.
Yeah. Uh, I think he'd be really good. That's my take.
That's a
I think
great baseball take right there.
he's got the tools. He didn't have like blow you away minor league numbers necessarily, but he feels like he could be the next young arm that we turn into something special. It feels like.
And even if he's not, in my opinion, you're fine with a guy who goes, 160 innings and has a 3.75 ERA. Like those are serviceable major league guys. If he doesn't turn into a Freddie Peralta where he makes 32 starts, almost 200 innings and has, a 3.2 ERA. I mean, I'm fine with him being a middle of the rotation piece that's just there and contributes. And then Jet Williams is just, the cherry on top.
All right, Coach Keenan, you got a beer of the week? What were you sipping on at the game last night?
No, instead of a beer of the week, I'm gonna do a beer rant of the week. These prices at AmFam, yes, okay, congrats, you got me. You're paying for 24 ounces. Who wants 24 ounces of beer at one time for $18 plus a tip, mind you, for the people who, even though you input it on the robot yourself, they opened it and check your ID. I'm tipping them for that, which is fine.
That's
Give them a buck
crazy.
for it. But by the time you're halfway done, the beer's warm. Inside the stadium, it's warm. Who wants 24 ounces of beer at one time? I'd rather get up. There's enough beer stands and beer guys where I can get up and come back and not miss any of the action.
Then you
I
got to
think
tip
24
again.
I think 24 ounces is a little bit too much, in my opinion, to serve at one time and fully enjoy it. Unless they want me to slam the thing, which I did. But then it stopped me from having another because I was like, I'm not going to pay $40 for what is essentially four beers. I mean, that would be four 12-ounce beers. I mean, that's ridiculous in my opinion. So no beer of the week. Of course I had one, but if you want, go get a Hams with a lemon from section 420. That is the move. Sadly, I was nowhere near 420, so I wasn't making the 10-minute trek, but that's what I would tell everybody to do. And the people up there are great. It's like a little like a towny bar when you go in there and you ask for it, everybody lights up. So cool thing to do. Do not pay $20 for a 24-ounce summer shandy. That is my rant. Sorry.
All
Scoop, you
right.
got a beer of the week?
Let me buy a beer. Sure. These fans, I love them. When I came in, they didn't recognize me at first, but then when I told them who I was, next thing you know, they're buying me my favorite beer. Thanks.
Hey, it's a pleasure to buy a beer for a great pitcher like Whitey Ford.
So I lied.
Oh man, what
What were
was
you
I
drinking
drinking?
at? What was the
What was
the
I
drink of
drinking this
choice
week?
at Cole's wedding?
Well, during the rehearsal, the drink of choice was a Yingling, which is now available in
I think
Wisconsin.
there might have been some flights in there too, right?
There were some Yingling
Yeah.
The
flights in
flights are
there too.
good.
Yeah, they are
Don't get me
good.
wrong. I like them.
Yeah,
Kean
keeping a
just Kean just wants to talk about beer. We got to do a
I'm
bi-weekly full beer pod for Coach
yeah.
Keenan.
I was keeping it light, just some champagne, a rum and coke, maybe a like a Voodoo Ranger in there, Coors Light, Miller Lite, just mixing it
What
up.
kind of mixture is that? Some champagne, a Voodoo
It
Ranger.
was a shaking my tail feather mixture, coach.
Yeah,
The
hey,
dance floor, one of the better dance floors I've ever seen. Gotta just put that out there. All right, let's go around the farm.
If it hadn't been for those meddling kids. If it hadn't been for you meddling kids. Ah, meddling kids. If it hadn't been for these meddling laddies.
Cole, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I wrote down a couple things here. First, I want to shout out, before we even get to the actual stats around the farm, I believe I saw Prince Fielder throw out the first pitch for the Wilson Warbirds game, which is our low A affiliate, and his son is on the team, so that's pretty cool. I think his son caught the pitch, so um, Jaden Fielder, hopefully he can keep moving throughout the organizational ranks, but cool to see Prince Fielder doing anything Brewers related anytime for anyone our age, I think. So shout out there. Blake Burke, I saw, was promoted into the top 10 first base prospects. And that is probably because he started the season with 6 home runs in 6 games. That's like a good way to get your name out there. Luis Pena has been hot. He's got over a 1.0 OPS in high A. Jesus Mares, I believe, has over a 1 OPS in double A. Luis Lara has been real hot. He's a guy that Some of Brewers fans have kind of been asking to see instead of a Greg Jones, for example. I think the
414
holdup.
batting average right now.
What?
Luis Lara, 414 batting average
That
right
is
now.
sick. Yeah,
1100
he is a
OPS.
a good contact
And
guy, good glove, good
10
wheels.
bags.
Yeah, he's just
10.
not on the 40 man now, so I guess they don't want to push that, but he'll have to be soon enough.
Yeah, I mean
He's
that's doing all that in AAA too.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd be a fun guy to watch. I don't want to get into like player comps, but like size wise and stuff, might remind you of another center fielder that had a decent hit tool, but I think his hit tool might be even better than a Tony Plush, for example. But I don't know if he'll have all that riz,
I thought you were
but
talking about Scott Pasednik. Sorry.
hey, probably a better comp, honestly.
5'7", 169. I mean, this is another Sal. It was
Yeah.
funny. I was seeing all the infielders and outfielders in the starting lineup that are down the line for the national anthem yesterday, and they all same height, same build, not exactly the same height, but close enough. Like hats off, similar haircuts. It was interesting. We have a type, the Brewers organization.
And then last shout out, Jaron DeBerry. He went five shutout with 7 Ks for the Shuckers. He was a guy that we took kind of higher and paid over slot value, if I recall. I think he's out of New Jersey. Might be making that up. But he was a high school kid and he's already in Double-A and obviously looking good. Maybe next time we have um, Jay on, he can give us a better breakdown. But yeah, the farm's been hot. Guys are getting off to a pretty good start. There's a couple that aren't. Brock Wilkin, for example, but and then I know yesterday I think Jet Williams, Cooper Pratt both have started kind of slow, but yesterday between those two and Luis Lara, I think they had like I don't know if it was 6 or 8 hits. Like they're on fire. Double out of Cooper Pratt, two doubles out of Luis Lara. Jet Williams, I think might have had 2 hits. So those top three guys in Nashville, if they get moving, we might see all three of them in a Brewers jersey this year.
Yeah, the one thing I had was about Blake Burke, and you took it from me. So I'll just take it back. It was about a year ago. I called him out for being fat and slow, and ever since then he's taken off. So I almost want to take credit for this, but I'm not gonna.
Ian, you're
Uh,
fat and slow.
he's
Just in case you have some kind of meteoric rise, I want to be on camera saying that.
Yeah, just anytime a prospect is struggling, just tell them that they don't care enough, and then when they start producing, you can just be like, "See, he heard the criticism, and he locked in. It was because of me." But no, it's cool. It's super cool to see. I don't know how their teams feel because I feel like our we always have a couple guys in every level that are producing well and creating hype, but I guarantee you in other organizations that's not the case. So it's just cool to see that year in and year out there's a guy pretty much at every level that you're like either you need to start paying attention to him or he's actually living up to the hype. So super cool to be a Brewer fan, as I say quite often.
Oh, and
I
when I turn on my TV, it brings me to the like MILB random game channel, and I saw Rowdy Tellez playing the sounds the other day for the Braves AAA team in
Gwinnett,
Gwinnett. So yeah, in Gwinnett. So want to shout out Rowdy. Always good to see his smiling face.
he's got such a perfectly round head. Love that guy.
I will not stand for any Blake Burke slander, just for the record. First, he's a national champion for the Tennessee Volunteers. His father is one of our avid followers, and the man rakes. So
I don't even
no,
Hey,
think
I'm just saying.
no Blake
Keane's
Burke
way
slander on my
past Blake
watch.
Burke slander.
Yeah, if anything, I would love to meet him and give him a hug and thank him for listening to me. That's all I'm saying.
That's a good point, though, Scoop. We should probably watch the corner infield of Tennessee this year just to know who we're going to reach on in the first or
Yeah,
second round.
for real.
Is
Uh,
while we're on the topic of Tennessee corner infielders, has anybody been keeping up this week with Andrew Fisher? I know he got off to a very nice start. Um, I obviously didn't, so Cole around the
No,
farm.
I saw he had another like a high exit velo, a double, I think, earlier in the week, but it's got to be crazy for a guy like that to perform on Team Italy like he did,
mhm.
surrounded by pro players
And go
hitting
to single A.
MLB caliber, yeah, and then get shot back down into the org. But it's for his own good, obviously. But no, I don't know
He's
his exact
actually
line,
he's
but
actually cold. He's starting the year 182 average and a 613 OPS. So,
yeah, Keenan,
um,
say something mean to him, I guess, while you
yeah,
have the opportunity.
Nah, he's the man. I mentioned last week.
Oh,
He was on MLB Network. He was on MLB Central because of how, how cool he was to be on Team Italy and everything. And then,
Who was interviewing him? What'd they ask him?
it was Dero, it
yeah.
Oh, what
was
did D-Rose say?
Shahadi,
What did
it
D-Rose say?
was
Oh, we
Robert
were trying our
Flores.
best to beat you guys. We knew we had to.
That's crazy. Don't I will not stand for Dero slander. He's back being an analyst. He said
All
done
right.
being manager for a while, but they were asking him all these great questions. He was answering phenomenally, talking great about the org and everything. And they asked him like, what was different? What's so different about the Brewers organization than anywhere else? And it's always somebody saying the attention to detail. Just every conversation you have is a meaningful conversation. So good to hear from a guy that's literally in high A has the same things to say as newcomers like Sproat and Jet Williams talking about, major league spring training and now the big leagues. It's nice that we have organizational flow.
Let's uh let's tie up a couple loose ends here before I forget. When you were talking about Contreras earlier, 11 game hitting streak, Terang's been on base in every game he's played this year, 16 games. They mentioned that earlier in the broadcast.
He's not a star.
Yeah, right. And then the other thing is we didn't really talk about Christian Yelich's injury. Not that there's much more to say, but it's an adductor strain, I guess, which is where the hamstring connects
Can you show me?
up near the groin. Yeah. So soft tissue. I guess it's good. It's not the back, but it's not necessarily great, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a guy that obviously sucks to lose for the offense he can provide, but at the same time, at least he's not also a gold glove caliber fielder. Like, you can plug a DH. It sucks, but
Yeah.
I'd rather honestly lose him than a Terang or a Contreras. So, we'll,
Yeah, it sucks
we'll,
because he started hot again.
yep,
So
they look good.
yep. But yeah, any other final thoughts we got before we close it up?
No, I think it's just weathering the storm for some of these injuries. I mean, Churio back would be really nice.
I see what you
Yeah,
did there.
In the
weathering the
parking
actual
lot.
storm. Tomorrow, I think there's gonna be another good one. But
In
yeah,
the
I
the
got,
grass in the
the game
parking
looked
lot.
crazy yesterday, Keen. I don't know. Were you walking in some water somewhere?
oh my God, we were getting rained on in the stadium. It was great.
No.
Yeah, it was great.
No, we have a
Yeah,
roof.
you didn't see Keen. He was sitting right in front of the second baseman.
Yeah, no, the seats were puddled around us, so we had to move and stand. We were standing like behind home plate, but it was cool to see like the rain actually fall through, and then obviously you see the Twitter discourse, but they
I
don't
was
know.
kind
There
of
was still a game played, and there was a legitimate monsoon going on outside. So, in my opinion, that's a win if a couple people got to move out of their seat.
they didn't like do any kind of pause for the tornado warning thing, did they?
I don't
The day
think there was a
I
before?
didn't
tornado.
even know
Yes,
there
you're
was
talking about
one yesterday.
couple days
No, the day
ago.
before.
Yeah.
From
No,
what
I
I
don't
read
think
on
so.
Twitter, no, they got the alert. Like the fans got obviously the alert on their phone, but they didn't stop the game at
Yeah,
all.
I feel like that's kind of weird, but whatever.
You're in like the safest place I feel like you could be is that's what all the event staff apparently was telling fans because I thought the same thing, so I looked it up, but they said that that's like one of the safest places you could be for an event like that.
Do
So
you
Makes
trust
sense.
them?
kinda. I don't know. At that point, if you're sitting in section 420 and there's a tornado, not like you're getting out. So you just gotta believe.
Well, on that note, next time I need to shelter in place, I'm gonna drive to the stadium.
Yeah, safe in there.
Better hope they let you in.
Yeah. All right. Well, uh, just holding, treading water until whatever the kids are saying until we get some of these big boys back. But things are looking decent. So 10-8.
Yeah, and I mean, just other league news. Cubs losing Cade Horton. And I think I don't know if you guys talked about that, but their staff looks a whole lot thinner without him, honestly. But they'll get some guy. I think they'll get Steele back throughout the year. Shota actually looks really good so far. Um, but that's interesting. Pirates. That's the other thing too. I think we might have talked about Connor Griffin, but the McGonigal extension too. All these teams are extending the young shortstops, man. I don't know what that says about the lockout, and probably seems like they're not worried about a salary cap if they're paying tons of guys, whatever, 10 years into the future. But it's interesting because that's a newer development in baseball. There's been like four or five dudes between Seattle, us, Pirates, Tigers, extending these shortstops with little to no MLB experience.
Cool though. It's cool to see.
And
especially for small market clubs.
yeah. And Jordan Walker is risen maybe.
Yeah, his Saban page was nuts. I did see that.
It seemed
Straight dark red.
I would be like totally surprised. Like he's obviously had the tools and has the tools, but it'll be interesting. Either way, Cardinals should probably mellow out and suck the rest of the year, I hope. But it'll be a battle. Reds are fun too. They're young, they're deep as ever, but we'll see. I don't know what the timeline is for what's his face?
Hunter Green.
Yeah,
I think he's
he's supposed to come
2 months,
back, but
I
I don't know
thought.
when. Yeah,
That
yeah.
was a while ago.
Division's good. Division's good.
Which is good because we've been called frauds in the past. So when we win this year, it's going to be even better. I think that's it.
Yep. Scoot, you got no more wisdom for us? You're busy. Look, what'd you get at B-Dubs?
Just a little Thursday bonus action.
Yeah,
So
I'm
Gotta
it's
go,
little. You got like the mini here, whatever, the
gotta go
snack
pick it up.
size.
No, the adult size, 20 piece.
All right.
go Crew.
All right, go Brewers.
Go Brewers.